Lyft stole my tip. Hey everyone. I want to first start by saying I rarely or pretty much don't drive for Lyft. But here's my experience that has caused me to not drive for Lyft ever again. So on November 3rd, Uber kept sending super low paying rides that I had to keep declining. Now, make note that I only drive with Uber Comfort. I do not do UberX. I may do a video on why, but all those doing UberX understand though. And so anyway, I was not accepting the trips Uber sent. I believe that due to that, Uber throttled me down or put me in time out. And basically the rest of the day, I just was not getting any trips from Uber. I was even at the airport and was not getting any trips, even with several planes landing with large groups of passengers. So I decided to get on Lyft, knowing that I will be declining a lot of trips with them too. When I logged on to Lyft, I noticed there were no other drivers logged on at the GSO airport in North Carolina, so I figured my chances were good in getting a customer at the airport. Well, Lyft sent me a bad trip with a 14-minute pickup time. I declined that. Finally, they send me a pickup at the airport, and the drive to the drop-off location was about 31 minutes for $24. I figured it's getting near my stopping time, plus it's hitting towards my house, and there potentially may be a tip that will make this trip worth it. So I take the ride and take the guy to his location. By the way, super nice guy. Now, I need to insert that I read and heard about drivers' tips getting taken by Uber, Lyft, and other gig apps. But I never could confirm if that was happening to me because, one, I did not know if a customer was given a tip. Two, I had no desire to make things uncomfortable by asking a customer about watching them give me a tip. That would just be very uncomfortable for me. However, this guy said to me, "Go ahead, close out so I can leave you a tip." And I was like, "Sure." And then he showed me his phone as he entered a $5 tip, and then he hit the submit button, and I saw that too. I told him, "Thank you, I appreciate that so much," because seriously, I did. It made everything worth it. Anyway, as I was leaving and driving down the road for about 30 seconds, I noticed tip never came in. Usually when I was driving for Lyft, and like I said, these are short periods of time and spurts that I drove for Lyft. But when I was driving for Lyft at certain times, tips came in pretty fast after I dropped someone off. But this one did not. So I messaged the Lyft support. We all know how they are. So I'm not even going to go into about that. And here's what I said. "Hi. The grand total for my trip with," and I said the customer's name, "should be $29.49 because the customer gave me a $5 tip. I watched him enter the $5 tip and submit it. Please add my $5 tip, making it a total of $29.49. Thank you." So the messages I got back after I sent my message, it just seemed like it was someone who did not speak English, and they seemed pretty shady and like they were stalling for some reason. They would say stuff like, "Thank you for contacting us," and then they wouldn't say anything else, such as normally when you're sending in an issue, people say, "Thanks for contacting us. We're looking into the situation," something around that method to let you know that, "Hey, we see your issue. We're looking into it and we'll get back to you as soon as possible." Nothing like that. I just got a message saying, "Thank you for contacting us." So after that message, I waited 5 minutes with no response. And so I posted the same message I initially sent again. And then they stated, "It sounds like you were missing a tip, correct?" It took every mite from me not replying and stating, "No shit, Sherlock. What did my message say? But instead of being evil, I said yes. Then they paused forever and said nothing. So I decided to go to another location before going home. However, you can't send messages while you're driving with Lyft chat, which is safe and logical, so no biggie, right? So while I was in transit, then this support customer service person decides to message me during that time when my car was in motion. When I reached my destination, I looked at their response, and you know what it stated? "Are you still there?" Question mark. I wanted to go off on them so bad with that, because why are you asking me such a dumb question instead of reviewing and fixing my issue and or providing me with an update? Totally weird. Anyway, to make a long story short, I pasted my same message 4 times in the chat, and then someone wrote back and started talking about upfront pricing is what I was paid for the trip. I stated, "What are you talking about? A tip is additional to the upfront pricing. I'm asking you to fix it where the customer gave me a tip." Then they started to lie and say the customer never gave a tip and that they will be closing the chat. I ended the combo in that chat with a emoji middle finger. Then I cashed out my ride money, logged out, and removed Lyft's app. I will never, ever, ever, ever drive for Lyft again due to them blatantly just taking my tip like that. Like, wow. And you know what? Now I understand why there were no Lyft drivers that night online, because who wants to drive for a company that does that? Honestly, Lyft was already on my very low list because of a few things. And I definitely did not know they were so hard up for $5, which is sad if a company thinks it's okay to steal from people. Well, anyway, thank you all for listening and have a good day.
You can call that mental freeze when these people talk too much. Put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze when these people talk too much. Put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. She say that I'm cool. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I believe in G.O.D. Don't believe in G.O.D. She keep playing me dumb. I'ma play her for fun. Y'all don't really know my mental. Let me give you the picture like stencil. Falling out in a drought. No flow, rain wasn't pouring down. See, that pain was all around. See, my mode was kinda lounge. Didn't know which way to turn.